All right, we are now joined by head coach Kalen DeBoer. As usual, we'll have coach make his opening statement, then we'll go ahead and take a question. If you raise your hands, please, while coach makes his opening statement.
Yeah, you bet. Just proud of the guys. Thought it was a solid overall performance. Team football, getting the takeaways and putting points on the board when we got the ball back. Getting a stop on fourth down, scoring, getting the field goal, forcing to a field goal at the end of the half, and the offense responded with a quick drive. I think, and then coming back in the third quarter too. Those are big swings in momentum, and I think our guys with their energy, it was there all week. Just knowing that the only choice is always to go back to work, and that's the way it's always going to be. And they did exactly that. I thought it was the best rhythm to practice. And I think they're getting into the flow now of what a game plan week looks like. Last week was the first week where you had your typical week and not some extra days. And this week you could just feel it was all kind of syncing up. So was expecting a good performance, and it's never going to be perfect, but a lot of great things to build off of.
Thanks, Coach. We have some questions right here in the front row. Charlie, go ahead and start us off.
Coach, just do you have an update on Malachi and what we saw and Richard Jones?
Yep. Malachi got hit to the head, so I think we're just going through probably the protocol with him. It helps having a bye week here, so I'm thinking he'll be all right. He'll be fine. Rusaw, lower leg. I don't know exactly where, but I know it is lower, and we'll just continue to evaluate with him. And who's the third one? Richard Young. I think same thing. So just lower leg. I think actually very similar. Below the knee area. So we'll continue to evaluate those guys. Definitely good to have a couple weeks here, getting ready.
Dick?
Yeah, the offensive line, now that you were able to get Proctor back, and then you have Elijah on the right side, what do you see from them today, and what do you think clicked well for them?
Yeah, I thought they just did a consistent job of making sure Jalen could stay upright, wasn't rushed, hurried. It's amazing how your play calls can just be so much easier, and you're down at distances that much bit more favorable when you can protect your quarterback and make every throw count. Where there's not throwaways where you're getting hit, and I thought there was just good gelling, considering it was really their first game action altogether. And then, between running backs and Jalen, just finding different ways to attack with the run game, and they just, opened up the seams. And I felt like really not any missed assignments. I'm sure there's something in there that we'll find, but when it came to run the football, just getting those big bodies all working together, and whatever play was called, I felt like they were, in sync and giving us a chance, and then letting Jam, and I know Jam had a big game, and Jalen as well. So I like the balance of what we were able to do, both run and pass, and that starts up front.
Katie, you had a question on the left?
You and Caden both talked this week about turnovers. How pleased were you with how aggressive the defense was, forcing 4 turnovers for number 2?
Yeah, those 2 strip sacks, those 2 strips could have been really big for us. But that was, getting them early, getting one early, and just getting that momentum. It just becomes contagious, and I love it. The guys have a lot of confidence. We almost had, I think, an interception there with Keon early too, and so those guys are playing aggressive, playing confident, and they're going to come in bunches. And I feel like we're just still at the tip of the iceberg of what we can do when it comes to taking the ball away.
Matt?
Big day for LT Overton. What do you think of how he played?
He's, you expect that from him, and he's just going to be continually coming after you, and it's not just against one or the other, run or pass. It's both. He's just a physical presence in there. I love the way he plays. It's a business-like approach that he has, whether it's in practice or games. I just got a lot of trust and confidence that he's going to bring his best, and he fits so well within our scheme. I know we're very confident, whatever it is, if he's got something we're asking him to do, that he's going to get it done, and make sure he first of all takes care of his responsibility, and then goes and needs to go make plays.
Chase, go ahead.
I want to ask you about the first touchdown pass that Milroe threw to Ryan Williams in the end zone. It looked like the trajectory was pretty low, which kind of allowed him to hit that pass because he might have run out of room in the back of the end zone if he'd have laid it out higher. What do you think of that throw?
Yeah, I thought it was right on the money, and love what Jalen did with those balls that were down the field. Gave our guys a chance. Now our guys did a nice job of getting some separation there too, and Ryan in that case. And you know, you get a step, let's get it done. And as you said, you know, you get to the back of the end zone or towards the sideline. Both those things were coming on Ryan quickly, but because of the trajectory. And I think it goes back to, again, Jalen had some time back there. He had a second to really sort things out, see it, not feel rushed, and put a good ball on Ryan. Ryan, you know, tracking it and doing what he does.
Second row and right, let's go to Alex and Cody.
First road test coming off of a shaky performance against South Florida for the first part of that game. How'd you like how they responded? And also, just what went into the decision to start Pritchett right back?
Yeah, you just, you know, Pritchett being healthy and just finding that, you know, really between Caden, Pritchett, and the rest of the crew, we felt very confident, you know, going into week one, you know, and Wilkin will continue to, you know, work in the mix and be a part of it as well. And Gino came in and did a nice job spelling some snaps there too. So we're gonna need them all. We're gonna need them all. I just know how a season goes, and they're just gonna always keep getting better. And what was the first question?
Just about coming off of a shaky performance against
Yeah.
South Florida, then going on the road for the first time.
Yeah, on the road. I just, you know, there was a business-like approach to us in the locker room pregame. There was a lot of energy, a lot of fire. I think that's just these guys and their passion. It's impressive being in here, and it's impressive at halftime as you're gaining momentum that they can just really have that confidence, the energy being sustained. It's something I'm really learning about our guys. You know, you see it in practice and you think that that's what's going to be, and you just never know. And here we are 3 weeks in, and you know, I'm really pleased with how they, you know, have that business-like approach, but there's a lot of energy too. Because some teams, you know, you have so much energy that you really, you know, you start making those mistakes. And I feel like we were able to hone it in the right things and focus it on the right spots, and that's playing well.
All right, left side, Joe.
I'd like to ask you about the other touchdown pass to Jerry Bernard down on this end. What did you see with Jalen Milroe and the placement on that one?
Yeah, and that one's a route that takes a little time to develop, a little post corner route. I thought it was a great play call. When I heard it, I loved it, and just staying aggressive. Obviously, the clock, we had to do that, but the time that it took, because it does develop a little bit slower, and Germ doing a good job of clearing and not running into, and using just the veteran savviness that he has to set the direction, set the path that he was going to be on. And Jalen, again, giving him a chance, you know, a 1 yard wider, and it's an incomplete pass, and Germ catching it first and then getting his feet down. And so just great execution all around.
All right, we got 3 more questions left. Let's standing up on the back left.
Okay, I just want to ask about the end of the first half sequence, they're kicking a field goal to cut it to a 1-possession game, 2 quick plays, touchdown. What was the mentality, the message to the team to be aggressive there?
Yeah, well, and you know, it happens. I mean, we're going to be aggressive. We had 3 timeouts, and so a lot of time with those timeouts. And so, you know, when you got playmakers like we have, you want to give them a chance to make plays, and every possession matters. And you know, we went after it, and the first throw down the sideline to Ryan really set things up well. To now, we're looking at getting points no matter what. Love the aggressiveness again with the play call to go to the post corner to Germ, and then in the locker room, just really not being happy and satisfied with that score, coming back out and doing a good job of executing the next drive. I think that shows growth in our team. You know, that you do it back to back in those big moments where really, you know, their team didn't touch the ball, and all of a sudden there's 14 points put on the board.
Go far right, back row.
Yeah, Kalen, in terms of the approach of the team, how much of that is them getting used to playing with each other, but also getting used to playing with you guys in season, game to game?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that is just nuances that you don't really realize. And, you know, I think unless you're right there in the fire with the guys, there's just play calling rhythms and, you know, taking the field and how we communicate. There's so many nuances I think that the great teams have, and we're a work in progress in all those things. I mean, there's things that I saw where we did a better job, and there's things that just still, you know, once in a while, I don't want to say, when I say clunky and it's a negative word now, it's going to feel, you know, like, hey, we aren't doing things we're supposed to. I think we are. It just takes time. It takes repetitions for everyone. And we were much more in sync this week whether it was today or whether it was all week through our game planning, the calls that we're making. There's recall now. There's some recall with our play calls from last week or the week before. And it isn't just us going against our defense. We're seeing different looks, and we're understanding that those adjustments week to week against different opponents and different schemes are important. And I thought they did a great job preparing, set us up for success today.
All right, last question right in the middle.
Kalen, you talked a little bit about Keon Sabb and what his near interception there in the first half. What have you seen from him in the first few games? He had 2 interceptions in the opener, and looks like he's continuing his strong play.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the only one. I think a lot of people have a lot of confidence in him out there, that he's going to be in the right spot. He's instinctive. He sees the field really well. He just feels things, and he's I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if he's out of position ever. I mean, I'm sure there's little details that we'll find and so forth. But I just trust him. I just trust him, and I love the quiet swagger that he has about him. He just goes out there, and it's a business-like approach, and he loves the game. And I know he's having fun being here, and we're certainly glad he's with us. That's for sure.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Ty.